Hello everyone. So Blade and Sorcery just got its newest long-awaited update, Update 12, the Mod Manager update. Now I know I don't normally do Blade and Sorcery videos. I want to try and branch out what I do and not do just Pavlov videos all the time. I'll still be primarily a Pavlov channel, don't get me wrong. Anyway, this intro isn't why you're here, let me get into the new update. The first new thing in this update is physics-based swimming. Now I love this idea, but the only thing I will say about this addition is it maybe could use some work. It's really cool, don't get me wrong, but it didn't feel as good as it possibly could have. It seemed kind of unresponsive, and even if I'm flailing my arms like a madman, my character never really moves. Maybe I was doing it wrong, but yeah, regardless, this is a really cool addition, I just think it needs a bit of work. The next thing they added was breakable objects. Now this is really cool, and it seems weird that it wasn't in the game before now. Essentially, some objects in the game world, like barrels or pots or plates, you can now break them however you want. You can smash them into a wall, smash them into an enemy, smash an enemy into them, and it's actually really cool. I think without a doubt the coolest part of the breakable objects in this is that if you break a barrel, then you can use the lid as an impromptu shield. And something very cool about this is it still acts as a breakable item, so if an enemy hits you too hard, or if you hit an enemy too hard with the shield, then the shield's gonna break. I just think this is really cool. The next thing, and arguably the biggest thing that this update added, was an in-game mod manager. Previously you had to use Nexus to get all your mods for Blade and Sorcery, but now they've made it a lot easier by using mod.io. What this allows them to do is for you to pick the mods you want straight off the menu. You don't need to go to some external site, you can just load up the game, click on mods, and boom, you can download whatever you want. Hopefully Pavlov will get on this in a future update.
So long, Bowser!
There's also some new music they added in this update. There's two different types of music they added. For all the static levels, like Arena, Canyon, and all the others, there's now new music that plays whenever you're fighting people. And there's also a new sound effect they added whenever you kill someone. You'll see this in the clips I'm about to show. Here's some of the music you can hear in Arena. And here's some you can hear in Citadel. Now my personal favourite part of this update is all the new dungeon outpost rooms they added. They ended up adding 14 side rooms and 24 new rooms to the outpost. Now you might be wondering, what is a side room? That's something new with this update as well. Now in some of the larger rooms you can find side doors that will lead to smaller areas. These areas are fairly basic and don't really have a lot of use now, but in the future Crystal Hunt game mode they've been teaching, apparently we could find loot in these rooms. If I had to pick favourites for a side room and a main room, my favourite side room is probably this library I found. It was just really cool, you know, you could find some good literature to read and just, yeah, no, it seemed really cool, it was kind of unique. And if I had to pick a favourite main area so far, there was this amazing big open space I came across. There was like this little house in the middle that had a watermill inside of it, there were enemies guarding it. It was just really cool. There was a scarecrow, and the watermill actually worked. It was very cool. I think this is one of the bigger areas I've actually seen in Blade and Sorcery. It's probably the biggest dungeon area. But yeah, no, it was just gorgeous. They also updated enemies that use shields to have better AI. Two things they do now. The first is that they block much better. You can't just swing away at these guys anymore, they will block a good amount of your attacks. And another really cool thing they can do now is they can actually bash you and push you away if you get too close to them. You can see that happening in this clip now. I get a little too close to this guy and he bashes me away. This is really cool. I'd love to see more stuff like this, like more maneuverability from enemies. I just think it adds a cool dynamic. They finally updated the menu UI. We no longer have the weird book UI that I know a lot of people didn't like. The new UI is a lot more streamlined. It's a lot more in keeping with the tone of the game. Yeah, no, I really like it. And on this UI, you will find two new cheats, Free Climb and Dismemberment. Free Climb is essentially just the Spider-Man mod, if any of you ever remember that. But basically what it does is it allows you to stick to walls very easily. You don't need to find like a curved surface in order to climb. You can just grab at a flat surface on the wall and stick straight to it. And yeah, it might make climbing a bit too easy, but if you're somebody that struggles with that in this game, then yeah, this cheat is for you. The other cheat they added, Dismemberment, basically makes it much easier to dismember enemies. You don't have to put that much force into it, but you still have to be slightly accurate. I did struggle sometimes beheading people, but chopping off like arms and limbs were fine. I just realised how weird the sounds of someone standing outside. And finally, they added 6 new tools to the game. Now these aren't technically weapons, but you can spawn them in and use them in combat. They added the fork, the hay fork, the rake, the pickaxe, the sickle, and your mum. Wait, they finally added a sickle. Our time has come. That's not everything they added to the update, but that's the most important stuff. There is more stuff on their full changelog if you want to go through that. The one thing that I think I might mention is that they actually added AMD FSR upscaling. I'm not going to get into all the technicalities of how this works, but basically your game should run a lot better now. And yeah, that's about it. Here's some footage of me fighting people with the new tools I mentioned, and I just wanted to thank everyone for all the support my channel's been getting recently. I think my subscriber count doubled in like a month, which is crazy. I'm not really sure why, but hey ho, I'm not complaining. Feel free to join our Discord if that's your thing, and thank you for watching.